Hello and welcome to the first Mولد CAP Conference on National Security. Before I begin, I want to start by thanking everybody who made this possible. That's especially the Center, of course, the Center for American Progress, especially in that regard, Matt Duss, who you'll be hearing later on the Iran panel, and from Aaron Hillel Ben Sasson. I also want to thank all the panelists who came here from near and from far, and some people will be arriving later.
If we look from a bird's eye view, we see that part of the conflict now in the Middle East has to do, of course, with the, I would say, the emerging Cold War, if one could define it this way cautiously, or the conflict between Russia and the other members, or the permanent members of the Security Council. You see it in Syria, and you see it even in the Palestinian-Israeli deliberations recently.
We went on a very big protest movement in Israel, a protest movement that was based on a demand to change the contract between Israelis and their government, to create a new priority.
It doesn't help when you do things that encourage the publics on both sides to lose faith. And that give a bad name to peace, which has got a bad enough name as it is, as we all know.
How do we want to conduct the U.S.-Israeli relationship so that the position vis-a-vis what happens in the region and with Iran after an agreement is as strong as possible? How do we make sure that our relationship transcends Iran's nuclear program rather than being the first victim of Iran's nuclear program?
It's very important to note what's happening with the government and that there has been a change. To say that nothing in Iran has changed, it's completely inaccurate. And I think people here are noticing that. But we have to see where things are going to go in the Iranian politics. It's very, very unpredictable. Iran is very unpredictable.
This is not a peace agreement between Israel and Iran. It's not a peace agreement between Iran and the West. This is an agreement about the nuclear issue. And if other things come from it, then they come from it. I mean, I don't think an Israeli opposition to the possibilities is particularly constructive.